All right, in this tips video, we're going to be talking about how to deal with your inner critic. Because if you follow the advice in my last tips and tricks video, which is about how to find your voice as an artist, how to find your artistic style and create work that you love, you're going to run into your inner critic pretty quickly. So you're going to start to play and it's going to feel really exciting, and then suddenly you're going to feel worthless, not good enough. Who am I to spend money on paints? How can I be using up these precious paints and all this paper? I don't deserve to do this. I don't deserve to spend time on myself. And so the inner critic runs on and on and on with a list of objections as to why you cannot continue to create and feel good about it. So it's fine for a start. Like, the first thing to acknowledge is that this is just my inner critic and it's just doing its job. It's trying to keep me safe. But when we grow as a person and as an artist and we start tapping into our inner creativity, we are stepping into a vulnerable part of ourselves, and our brain wants to shut that down because it doesn't want us to be vulnerable, because its job is to keep us safe. So the first thing is to just allow it. Acknowledge, okay, my inner critic is piping up. I know that this is my inner critic's job, but my life isn't in danger if I use up a bit of paint or I make a nasty drawing. Like, it's fine. So we acknowledge it, we allow it to be there, but we disregard it. We just go, I'm not going to listen to it. A bit like Elizabeth Gilbert. I heard her say somewhere, probably in her what's it called, Big Magic book, about how it's like you say to your inner critic, you can come along for the ride, but you're not driving. Got to get in the back seat. And it's a similar thing that I think. You just have to go, it's fine, you're going to be there, but I'm not listening. And that, like, getting good at that just takes practice. It just takes practice of showing up and trying, failing, and then trying, and then like, yeah, it's working. And then trying, and then it's like, I know how to turn that on. I know how to just instantly ignore the inner critic. So that's your first one. Second little tip is to have like a mantra. So when you hear your inner voice say, not inner voice, that's usually the kind part of yourself. Your inner critic is another voice that's inside, which is the unkind part of yourself. And when you hear that part of yourself pipe up and say, this is rubbish, that idea is pointless. I was talking in my last video about how it might pipe up when you start to sort of follow the thread of what feels joyous and freeing. As you start to think, I just want to, I don't know, get the big paintbrushes out today. I've never done that. You will have a voice probably inside you which will pipe up and say, you can't use the big paintbrushes. You'll be awful. You won't know what to do with them. You will ruin what you're doing now. And so you need something that you say to yourself. So we've got the first step is that you allow it and you disregard it. The second thing is you need to kind of just reassure that inner part of you, because remember, the inner child inside you is your inner creative. Your inner creative is this vulnerable child. So we need to treat it as such and have something that you say to it. So when I feel like that, I remind myself by saying, this is how I learn. This is how I learn. Only learn by trying. I only learn by practicing. So we've allowed it. We've reassured ourselves with whatever mantra feels good for you. And then the last one is kind of more of like a coachy sort of question, which is, what do I stand to gain by not doing this work? And so when you start to think, well, I'm something like, I'm not going to get the big paintbrushes out. Well, what do I stand to gain by not following that thread? Not a lot really. Obviously there'll be, well, I could avoid making a painting that I don't like. But you're going to look at that and go, well, but that's what I'm here for. I'm here to learn. I'm here to paint. I'm here to experiment. Nobody who tries anything and wants to explore something is brilliant first time. We're all failing forward. We're all going, that didn't work, that didn't work, that didn't work. That worked. I might try that again in a different way. Okay, that didn't work, but I still like that bit. So I'm going to try that in a different way. Oh, suddenly I like this. This worked. I might repeat it. And so we're all, when you look at it and just go, look, we're all going to experience the not liking of the things that we do, the feeling of failure. I don't call it failure, I call it feedback. Then we can calm ourselves down and just realize that I actually don't stand to gain anything by not listening to the inner curiosity inside me that wants to get the big paintbrushes out today, or whatever it might be in your case. You realize you stand to gain nothing. And I guess kind of like a little added fourth one is, what do I stand to gain by following the thread of curiosity? The answer is everything you've ever wanted. Whatever you're curious about is exactly the path you should be taking, and it's going to lead you to what you really want. So I hope that has helped you today. I'll be back with some more soon.